number of laps since the last stop. Andre Ribeiro is right. Oh, and Parker Johnstone is hard into the wall on the backstretch. A heavy impact for Johnstone.
Coming off turn 2, he flipped the steering wheel out there.
Has his visor up as well.
He's trying to extract himself from the car. Sometimes when that's happened, you pinch a little bit of the bodywork or there's into the car, and it can catch his suit and just hang him up a little bit, but he was quickly out.
What a disappointment for Johnstone. From Brush Prairie, Washington, right on the banks of the Columbia River, not far from the Portland International Raceway, where we visit with the series. Driving for the former championship team owner, Barry Green. Stretching that leg a little bit.
When he makes contact with the wall, they will take him back to the infield medical center, the CART medical center, and check him over. That's a rule. Anytime you make contact on an oval track, you have to go to the CART medical center just to have a check over.
And I guarantee it's a lot cooler in there. Let's take another look.
All right, he looks like he just got up there in the gray in the middle of turn 1 and 2. Got up in the gray. Once you get up there, it's so hard to get it back. You're going so fast through those cars. You're doing 225 miles an hour in there. And you get up there in that gray, and there's marbles up there. It's slippery. There's a lot of dust. Not much control.
Danny, Parker Johnstone had an interesting quote about this place and those speeds. He said it's like you're in a fishbowl, and the challenge is to stay in it. Obviously, he didn't meet that challenge in this incident.
Gary, I had the pleasure of going over and standing on the outside of the wall at turn 2 during a practice on Friday, and it is amazing the speeds that they come through there, and it's amazing that they can have an accident at those speeds and get up and walk out of the car. I mean, I think that's a real testament to the safety issues and the way they've developed these cars over the years and incorporated what they can.
All of the cars carry onboard data recorders that measure various stresses in the event of an accident, and this was a big one.
You can see him in the top of your screen, just up there in the gray. See, he's in the gray, he can't do anything. He doesn't have any control when he's in there.
Boy, that was huge. Be interesting to see what the G-forces were in that wreck, but he is out of the car and appears to be okay. Jackaroo.
Bob, since we had that report from Barry Green about Parker Johnstone's incident, believing they cut down a tire, I talked with Al Spire, director of racing for Firestone. He's confirmed that at least 3 instances they believe they've suffered cut tires. One for Zanardi, one for Ribeiro, and the one for Parker Johnstone. Obviously, they don't know where the debris has come from, but that's the only problem that the Firestone engineers are reporting at this time.
Thank you, Gary. That's right, I'd forgotten that. It appears to be a tire problem that put Parker Johnstone into the wall. Now, Parker Johnstone had a very similar crash earlier in the race. Jackaroo is with him.
Parker, you can certainly relate to what just happened out on the racetrack with Bobby Rahal as we look at a giant bruise up on your left part of the upper forehead. Now, what caused that?
Well, first of all, I've got to thank CART and PBG and their rules committee, and especially the people at Reynard, because we had a failure at 230 plus miles an hour, and I went pretty, not headlong, but a really good shot into the wall, and I was able to walk away. This was from the right front suspension penetrating my helmet, and I think if it weren't for the Bell helmet that I wore, I wouldn't be standing here talking to you right now.
Parker, let me ask you a question. We're seeing a lot of gearboxes, especially on the Renards, beginning to fail. Can you isolate as to maybe what's causing that?
Well, we had a failure actually earlier in the week, and we've got a gearbox specialist who's one of the best, and from what I understand, it's been going through the Renard teams. We seem to get it solved, and then a long period of time goes by, and all of a sudden it fails again. So they don't know what the problem is specifically, but it's like the wheel bearing failures that we've had in the past. I know the guys at Renard and all the gearbox technicians in the paddock area are hard on it.
Take your hat off for a second. We want to show you where the suspension penetrated the helmet. And the funny part is Parker said, you know, I figured that I maybe had gotten my bell rung so bad that I was going to come out of the hospital and say, you know, I want to thank all these people at Daytona International Speedway and the Daytona 500 because I just won a Winston Cup race. You really got your bell rattled, didn't you?
I really did, and I tell you, if it weren't for the prayers of my friends and family and fans, I don't think I'd be standing here.
Tell you what, it's good to see him, and it's good to hear that things are so far so good with Bobby Rahal.
Jack, this goes back to what I was saying earlier. When we showed that in-car on Bobby Rahals, how fast they're traveling through that turns 1 and 2, and if something goes wrong, it's amazing to me, and I drove these cars, how much they'll take. A real tip of the hat to CART and their safety crews.